Alright guys, what's up? Is Ron here. Doing another video again. It's been about 4 weeks since I put something out, and the last thing I put out was my vaccine documentary, and if you haven't seen that yet, go check that out, because, yeah, I put in a lot of work to that, and it's really informative, and, the information that's in it will remain relative until the whole vaccine issue goes away, if it does. So yeah, check that out. Since the last time I did one of these, like, face videos or vlog type videos, I got a mic, I got a lamp for some lighting, and I got this cool backdrop that my partner put up for me. It's real cool. So yeah, in this one, really, I was really trying to start something. Like I've been wanting to make a video. Really, I don't ever know what to talk about because I feel like I've already said all the same stuff that I'm gonna end up saying again. But I really, yeah, I guess got to be repeating it to get it heard, you know. But for this one, I wanted to start maybe like a series. I don't know if I'm gonna continue with it. I don't know how it's gonna go, but I'm gonna call it like Common Misconceptions or something like that. It's going to be, well, in this case, it's going to be me getting my content from comments that were left on a post of mine, and then, you know, discussing through the comments and talking about it and stuff like that. You know, coming from perspectives of people, you know, that are still hung up on certain things like morality or natural law, which is the same thing. Just certain areas. It doesn't matter what it is, but yeah, there's definitely holdups in society, and I'd like to, I guess, play my part in progressing those along so that we can, you know, all get on the same page. Because right now, it seems most of society's not even in the same book. We're living in really a damn world of idiocracy. It's fucking insanity. So this one in particular, let me pull these notes up real quick. This one in particular, I guess I'll call this Common Misconceptions number 0. The consumptions of animals is necessary. Alright, again, I got these these questions or statements from a from a comments that were left on my post. I'm not gonna post the comments up or anything, I just have them commented out, and then yeah, I'll go ahead and talk about them. So really, some common misconceptions on consuming animals. It's the whole natural, necessary, and normal propaganda. Let's get into that. We'll talk about that in a minute. So let's start it out with the real healthiest option is to eat a balanced diet, as proteins obtained from plants are not whole and lack nutrients we as humans need to survive. Let me tell you, the healthiest option is and always has been a plant-based diet, a holistic plant-based diet which consists of seeds, nuts, fruits, and vegetables. Oh, and beans. This information has been proven countless times. It is proven in the scientific and medical communities. The reason it's so not normalized and swept under the rug is because it serves certain corporate factions to hide that type of information. You know, corporate factions such as the meat, milk, dairy, and all those industries that make billions and billions of dollars and billions of taxpayer dollars. So it also serves the government corporations. So it's really serving people all around. And considering that yeah, eating other life is actually not good for you. It serves the pharmaceutical industries. You go and you get sick from eating this toxic food that you're taught to consume, and then, bam, you got to go to the hospital. You got to go get some medicine. You got to go get some surgery. It serves those industries. It brings in money to into those. So again, the normal, necessary, I tried to mix natural and necessary. The normal, natural, necessary propaganda that we absolutely need meat to survive, which it's only that. It's only propaganda. In fact, yeah, consumption of animal products has been linked to severe damage to the body, and that could be looked into as well. We'll get into that into another one. I'm gonna keep going down with these things. Don't know how long this is gonna be. I'm gonna try not to stray off too far. Ron, we have canine teeth, which are designed to tear meat. We are given canine teeth to tear meat naturally. Humans have short canine teeth. You ever look at carnivores? They got them long razor-sharp canine teeth. Those are the canine teeth meant for tearing flesh. The canine teeth that we have are meant for cracking open nuts. They are short. Human beings don't have claws or talons like other carnivores do. We got fruit-grabbing hands. We actually don't have any other physical capabilities that enable us to hunt either. We don't have the running capabilities to keep up with animals. We don't have the claws or talons. We don't have the teeth to bite into them. Yeah, we really don't. We don't have anything. We can't fly. We don't have any of it. All carnivores have claws or talons, long canines, and sharp molars. The jaws of carnivores are only able to move up and down. Carnivores have strong bite force. Our jaws, human being jaws, which are similar to those of plant-eating animals, like cows, can move side to side as to chew and grind up vegetables and plant material. The strong bite force from carnivores is meant for them to bite into animals, right straight down, and to tear open flesh from alive animals and swallow their food most of the time in whole chunks. We do not do that. Yep, again, our teeth and our jaws are similar to those of plant-eating animals. You can look this up. You can go look into it for yourself. We have the molar structure and the canine structure of the plant-eating animals, and it is completely different from any other carnivorous animal out there. Also consider, if we were to use these teeth that we have, and we were to really go outside and kill an animal raw and bite it and tear it apart with these teeth, which wouldn't do a very good job, but I'm sure we could get the job done. It's already known heavily that eating raw meat causes severe bodily sickness. And what most people don't know is even if you cook it, it's causing severe bodily sickness. You wouldn't just go outside and eat a raw cow. You wouldn't just go kill a cow and start chomping on it, would you? Absolutely not. Ridiculous. All carnivores in nature are equipped to hunt, kill, and eat their freshly killed prey. They know that instinctually and naturally. The carnivores do. That's what they do by instinct. Our instincts don't tell us to do that. We aren't born to just naturally kill animals. If you were to put a bunny rabbit into a cage with a child or a baby and then an apple in there, what do you think that baby's going to do? You think that baby's going to eat that rabbit? You think it's going to kill it? No, absolutely not. That baby is going to play with that rabbit and that baby will eat the fruit. Look up videos of children being told that meat is dead animals, and you can see the reaction in their hearts when you tell them, yes, an animal died and we're eating this animal's flesh, and you see the look and the distraughtness in their whole spirit. You can tell that, yeah, they're like, they're presently reconciling or not reconciling, somehow trying to deal with the fact that, yeah, they're eating a dead animal. And most of the time, they stash that away, they store that away, they don't feel that. They're like, yeah, it's very traumatizing. It's actually pain that you have to deal with at some point in your life if you ever want to actually, get sane. If you actually ever want to slow down and stop being a materialistic, vampiric fiend, still running around in this realm, not knowing what's going on, still trying to figure out how to fill that spiritual hole inside of you. Yeah, to do that, you got to go through all those traumatizing things that you just stashed away and never dealt with, and that is one of them, which is part of the whole carnism. And yeah, the whole carnism agenda is turn everyone into carnists or cannibals, whatever you really want to call it. It's really deeper than just, oh, you shouldn't eat this because of this, or let me not go off too far. I mean, I'll get off on a bunch of different tangents. Carnism is a taught belief and a dogmatic religion based in violence. It is not natural. Just pretty much went over that, but it is. It's taught belief. We all come up, not naturally knowing, just like every other animal does, that we are going to hunt and kill, but it's something that we are taught. We are taught that we did this way before we were alive, way before any of us can even know, because all of us alive weren't alive back in the caveman era, if that's even how things were back then. We weren't alive back then, but we can observe now that, yeah, we come up and we don't naturally have the instinct or desire to kill other living beings and eat their dead flesh. It's absolutely ridiculous. But anyways, let's move on. That was that. Plants are living things that have been shown to have feelings and release stress, essentially panicking while dying. Who am I to say that the life of a plant is worth less than the life of an animal? Alright. The difference is that the purpose of a plant's life is to grow and then die, and then restart the cycle over and over again. Plants are not sentient beings. They do not have minds to think, they don't have eyes to see, they don't have ears to hear, they don't have noses to smell, mouth to taste, hands to feel. They don't have a heart to feel, or hands to touch and a heart to feel. They have been provided by nature to nurture the beings that inhabit this place, the animals, the souls. Animals coming from the word animus, which means soul, beings with a soul, soulful beings. Animals that are allowed to move freely within the realm, and they're not attached to the earth. Yes, plants were provided by nature or God, the creator of nature, the great architect of all of this, to nurture us. To say that the life of a plant is equivalent to the life of an animal, a being which has interests, attitudes, consciousness, and feelings, is absolutely incorrect. There is nothing that a plant desires or wants or prefers because there is no mind to engage in these cognitive activities. Now, just recently I watched a podcast, video podcast, Mark Passio, and he was talking about this as well. And I want to cue a clip to play while after this, because he says it pretty well. It's actually pretty funny. I enjoyed listening to it. But yeah, he pretty much said it. He said it pretty well about this specific thing. I'll go ahead and cue that now, and then I'll go ahead and move on. So,
okay.
Yeah.
And yes, there is a difference between taking fruits and plants and vegetables off of trees and bushes and shrubs and plants that they grow on, and versus slaughtering cows and chickens and pigs. Pigs often have the consciousness of dogs, if not even more intelligent. There's probably as intelligent as some young human beings. That's how intelligent pigs are. Okay, so if you can't see that there's a difference between these two things, eating a plant-based diet versus engaging in carnism, there's something seriously fucking wrong with you. I would say it's possibly a latent psychopathic tendency. If you think this baby doesn't deserve more rights than a potato, you're a psychopath. If you can't see the difference in the complexity of life between a pig like this that is almost like a puppy, a dog when it's a puppy, okay, versus, taking some fruit off of the vines that they grow on and consuming them fresh, then there's really something broken in someone's brain. And they've often bought, again, fallacious arguments that come out of pseudoscience when it comes to the plant kingdom, and then they are trying to make that association to the animal kingdom, which cannot be made. It's a false equivalency.
So yeah, good little clip by Mark Passio. Thanks for that, Mark Passio. Good talk on the carnism versus a holistic plant-based diet. Let's move on. People have heart issues because of exorbitant consumption of processed foods and fat, not from eating meat. Truth of the matter is, it has been proven several times that the consumption of animal products is in fact harmful to the human body. And here, I'll point out the research for you. I'll point you in the right direction so you can go look into it for yourself. Our bodies were not designed to digest that type of material. Like I said, we were not naturally designed by the creator of nature or God. We were not put here to naturally just instinctually know, hey, we kill animals. Our guts were not designed to break down that type of material. It just wasn't. If you look into TMAO, trimethylamine oxide, it's formed by consuming the byproteins of animal byproducts or animal products. Specifically the proteins choline and casein. When you consume these proteins, the gut bacteria that breaks down flesh forms inside of your gut, and it forms TMAO. Significant findings have been found in several studies showing that humans with high level of TMAO in their blood have a profoundly higher risk of cardiovascular disease, heart disease, high cholesterol, and artery disease, also including fatty liver disease and other bodily issues. Let me switch over real quick because I have some articles pulled up on this real quick. I think that's the correct button. Yeah, it was. Okay. Intestinal microbiota metabolism of L-carnitine, a nutrient in red meat, promotes atherosclerosis. Article posted here. I'll put these links in here, okay? I'm not going to read through all this. This is a big, giant, peer-reviewed study, okay? Yep, pretty much show. Oh, okay. Sorry, my computer's acting weird. Yeah, pretty much showing carnitine choline going in. It's turned into a TMAO inside the gut, and then yeah, clogs up the arteries, atherosclerosis, heart attack, stroke, death, and revascularization, which is open heart surgery. But this study right here is real in depth and goes over a lot of things. But this isn't the only thing either. If you're looking for a more simpler article, actually, this is another study on choline in regards to fatty liver disease. And yeah, another peer-reviewed study. Go through this real quick. Blah, blah, blah. Another one, Cleveland Heart Lab, choline, TMAO, and heart health. Powerful new evidence from the Cleveland Clinic confirms a link between choline, a nutrient found in foods like red meat, egg yolks, and dairy products, and the risks of dangerous blood clotting. Choline interacts with gut bacteria to make the blood more prone to clotting by helping produce a compound trimethylene oxide. Trimethylene oxide, my mistake. TMAO, that's what you can call it. But I highlighted some important things. It comes from choline and L-carnitine and also lectin. Those found to have higher blood levels of TMAO had a 4-fold greater risk of dying from any cause over the subsequent 5 years. 4-fold greater risk of dying from any cause over the subsequent 5 years. And see that people don't know this information. This right here is just specifically on choline. Going on choline. Here you go. Here's a publication from Harvard Medical School. New study links L-carnitine and red meat to heart disease, saying the same things. Okay, TMAO, carnitine, doing the same thing. Cause atherosclerosis, a disease that leads to cholesterol-clogged arteries and can lead to heart attacks and strokes. Okay, this stuff is everywhere. These are just a few ones. I know people want to trust these scholarly sources and stuff, so I pulled these up. They're selling it right in front of your face, but they don't put it on the mainstream news. They don't teach you it in school. They teach you the bullshit propaganda. This shit's real. Look into it. Or don't. It's not up to me. You're the one perpetuating the same harm, and ultimately it's your responsibility to reconcile that harm, whether you do that or not. I'm just trying to help people move along their journey and find morality in their soul, because we're a pretty damn soulless society. This is, again, another Cleveland Heart Lab. The gut, the heart, and TMAO. And this is specifically talking about TMAO. Like I said, there's plenty of stuff on this. To lower your TMAO levels, consider minimizing the consumptions of full-fat dairy products, whole milk, egg yolk, cream cheese, butter, both processed and unprocessed meat, as well as nutritional supplements and energy drinks containing choline. Vegetarians and vegans, I don't like to use those terms because they're weaponized labels and they have agendas tied to them. I only use the term holistic plant-based diet. If you want to label me vegan or do whatever, that's you placing a pre-notioned conception that you have inside your head on top of me. I don't associate with that label. I tell people to eat plant-based holistic diets. I don't tell them to go vegan because, let me not go into that. People who eat the plants, who avoid meat products, for instance, produce little TMAO. Consuming a diverse, rich diet in plant foods and fiber may be helpful. So yeah, that's that. Let me go back to full screen mode. So yeah, eating animals has been linked to, and it's not just meat, it's eating all of the products, the eggs, the milk, the cheese, the everything. All of the products that come from animals contain these carcinogenic proteins. What are not just as carcinogenic as smoking a cigarette, it's not carcinogenic as breathing the air. This is extremely toxic, and it said 4-fold greater times of dying than those who do not consume this stuff. It's crazy people don't know this stuff, but after realizing how much stuff has been hidden from us and how deeply and greatly we've been deceived on so many other things, this doesn't shock me. I've come to these conclusions a long time ago. And I'm not speaking from a place of, oh, I just believe this type of thing. No, this comes from a place of self-discernment and using my own cognitive function to think and consider things for myself, not just believe what some authority figures told me. Authority figures that are often paid and owned by those who are controlling us and have been for a while, all the way at the top. Let's move on. Flesh-eating bacteria that forms in your gut, destroys your gut, can ultimately lead to prostate cancer, liver cancer. This information has been proven several times. Research it yourself. I just pulled it up. I'll put these links in there. You look for yourself. Let's move on to the next part. Plants were out here to consume, just as obvious as animals were. Under natural law or the laws of morality, a lion is immoral for eating a gazelle, and snakes are immoral for eating mice. That is one huge misconception and a misunderstanding of what natural law or the laws of morality are. Highly incorrect. The laws of morality or the laws of natural law does not apply to any other animal other than human beings. As we are the only animals or things that have the mind and the hearts capable of comprehending the difference between right and wrong behavior. We do not operate out of instinct, but from a more complex state on a more intellectual type of level. Than any other animal in this realm, we are the most intellectual. We have the most capabilities to perceive the most things. We can perceive our thoughts and our emotions, that we understand them and perceive them and can put voice to them and express them more than any other animal in the animal kingdom can. Human beings, so because of that, because we're the only ones capable of perceiving things the way that we do and expressing things the way that we do and understanding things the way that we do, we are the only beings in this realm that are bound by natural law. Laws that are written into our heart, into our minds by God. This is not something that's, you can just choose what's moral and immoral. Morality is objective. Laws that are immutable and unchangeable. We don't get to pick what actions are right and what actions are wrong. That is another misconception. Morality is objective and is extremely simple. Any action is a right that doesn't cause harm, indirectly or directly, to other sentient life. And any action is a wrong if it does cause harm to other sentient life, indirectly or directly. It's as simple as that. Does this action cause harm to another living being, or does this action not cause harm to another living being? And that is the basis to determine if an action is moral or immoral. And that can't be changed. It is not moral. It's not relative. Morality is not relative, like a lot of people want to think, running around like moral relativists. It can't be changed. And it's written into the hearts of every single human being that's alive. Human beings are the only beings that have to face the behavioral consequences of their own actions. They're the only ones that have to deal with the pain that they cause on the inside. They're the only ones bound by natural law, like I said. If you were to cause harm to another person, say you were to kill another person or an animal, it does not matter in this case, they're both sentient beings. You have to deal with that. Really, you do. Like I said before earlier, with a child reconciling or attempting to reconcile the fact that they're being taught to eat dead animals, or that an animal died so that they could eat it. That's something that's painful and traumatizing. And it will remain traumatizing, and you will remain traumatized by it if you don't reconcile. If you don't say, okay, I harmed this person, or I harmed this animal, and I realize this was wrong because that shit hurt my heart, that shit hurts my feelings, and I just ended the life of something that I had no right to end the life of. I'm not God, and I know that I'm not God. And I don't have any right over anyone or anything other than myself. So I won't make that mistake again. That's one of the big problems in society, is people don't know simple morality. They feel those things and they see those things and they perceive those things on so many different levels, not just with the animals, not just with the harming people, with the things that are said to the people, with the things that are portrayed in society, with the things that are mainstreamed and normalized. It is all traumatizing information. The wars that go on is traumatizing. Why are people fighting? So it really locks people out of their care center and their core, their moral core, their hearts, and it disconnects them from feeling. And then fractures the mind and doesn't get you thinking, does not want your mind to get back down to your heart to deal with all the feelings that you have suppressed. I'm getting off on a tangent now, but seriously. The causing of harm to other life will have to be reconciled in the minds and hearts. That is one of, if not the biggest problem in society today. People believing they are able to play the role of God and choose what actions are right and what actions are wrong. Which is why we find ourselves in an enslaved situation, because few people believe they have the right to control the rest of society because X reasons, because they just believe it. They think they do. They have yet to feel the ripple effects of their own actions. They have yet to consider it. They control, or they try to control, and they have been controlling what actions are right and what actions are wrong. When it can't really be done. It can't be done in nature. As much as they want to try, it can't be done. They tell us we don't have the right to perform simple things like inhabiting land for free, growing plants, or transporting without permission. They tell us we don't have the right to do those things when the minute we were born here, we were automatically given all of those rights. We were given any right that is classified as a right by morality, by natural law, by the only law that governs us, besides the other laws of nature, like the ones that hold us to the ground and other things like that, just the laws you can observe, the laws of motion and stuff like that. Natural law is the only law that governs us for real. Man's law is completely irrelevant. Because regardless of what man's law says, I can go get in my car without a license and go drive away. I have that right and that capability, and it does not cause harm to anybody else. But some asshole somewhere said, no, we can't do that. Get off on a tangent again, but really the morality ties heavily in to this whole animal issue. The enslavement of our animals is a direct fucking causality because we're all fucking enslaved. It's ridiculous. So let me not get that. If we're gonna free our animals and we don't want our animals to be enslaved anymore, we have to realize our own enslavement and the levels that the game is being played on. It's chess, not checkers. If you can get that analogy, try to apply that here. We were all given the rights, any right, which is anything that does not cause harm, the time we were born. And nobody has the right to take those rights away. Any attempt to take those rights away or to cause harm to anybody else, those actions are immoral and wrong. And they must be reconciled inside. Whether you do it while you are alive here, or you wait until you're on your deathbed and you realize you have played the darkest character in your game of life and you're about to pass away and answer to God for your thoughts, words, and actions. And I can tell you, when I realized how fucked up I was and how immoral I was, that was the scariest thing in my life. I had to go through and relive all of the past experiences to learn what really went on in certain situations, considering the things I didn't consider before, which was my heart consciousness and mind consciousness, my feelings, thoughts, and emotions, and how they were all a factor. I was just never taught about them, and when I came to realize them on my own and how broken I was, it was the scariest process I ever went through, and I can't imagine dying before going through that process. I can't know what happens after death, but I can know that this experience is not just a fluke of nature. I can know by observing the laws of nature here that nothing or something does not come from nothing. Okay, I'm referring to the Big Bang Theory, yes, where nothing exploded and then supposedly became everything, and rocks just collided and flew around, and we just happened to magically form on this flying rock that's flying through space, bound to crash into another rock in a vast, infinite universe. And we are just completely insignificant pieces of dust. I can know that we are a part of something much greater. Just by observing the laws of creation down here, we are a part of some sort of creation. There is a creator behind all of this, just like there's a creator behind everything that exists on this micro scale. I get off on tangents and stuff. This is supposed to be about plants, but really it's all encompassing. I've been talking about this stuff for a bit now. And really, yeah, this whole problem, yeah, like I'm really just trying to point to morality, and this is the road going down from eating the animals. Yes, it is all relevant. This is all interconnected, and yeah, morality being one of the root problems that needs to be addressed in animals, and the consumption of them plays right along in it. And it also goes right along because I just put out the vaccine video with vaccines being the #1 tool for consciousness suppression. It's the reason that we go to school and we get taught all these things and we witness all this immoral behavior and we don't know what to do. We don't question it. We don't do anything. We just accept it and suppress ourselves. Because we don't know what to do. We are so toxic. And considering the fact that we're injected from the time we're born all the way up to the time we're adults and even after, we never get the chance to know what it's like to feel natural. We never know what it's like to actually be without being poisoned. We don't get a chance to feel. We don't get a chance to think how we should. We are completely cut off from the time we were born. And then that state of living is normalized everywhere. And so many people don't realize it. There's very few people in society that are talking about these things, able to sit here and coherently speak about these things. Too few people considering how bad everything is and how bad it's going. Like, we're really going off the deep end of, like, I don't know, but really, we're in a bad spot, and we need more people talking about these types of things. More people talking about morality, more people spreading this by word of mouth, more people getting up and being the voice, not caring who's going to judge you or who's going to look at you differently because you're going to break away from the norms of society, which is actually the insanity. It's the insanity is what's been normalized. And you got to break away from that. You got to dispel those beliefs. You got to find your moral core, and you got to get right with God, so to speak. Not a joke. For anyone who used to know me, I tried to be as real as I could before. Even though I was a jokester and I joked around, and you know, I'd said a bunch of messed up stuff, I tried to keep it real with everyone. And if I can change, and then you guys witness the change in me, let me be the example that there's something to this, and this is not just some crazy shit, okay? It may sound crazy to people who have never considered it before, but the more you use your own brain to look into this stuff, it is real. Absolutely real. And the more you start to feel it with your heart, and the more you start to observe your own present moment experience in your own reality, rather than running around chasing whatever you're chasing, whether it be sex, drugs, alcohol, money, materialism, sex, I already said that. No matter what the hell you're chasing, you're trying to escape from yourself ultimately, and that's what the state they have everybody in. Running around like chickens with their head cut off. Don't like to use that analogy, but actually, yeah, we'll use it. We're talking about animals. Shit, man. Let's keep going, because I just got off on whatever. I just let words spew out of my mouth as they come from the heart and soul, really. I don't have to... I use my notes here to kind of guide where I'm going to go, or else I'll get lost in some other tangent. I'll start talking about the education system or something, which I might even go into now that I brought it up. Because, you know, we'll just let this be... We'll just let this be whatever it be's. Alright, morality has been trained and poisoned out of the population. We are not taught right from wrong behavior. Wrong behavior has been allowed from the top down and encouraged, portrayed to everyone to follow in the idols of the falsely enlightened religionists and sorcerers. The same thing is applied with the taught bullshit about consuming animals. It creates a continuing darkness to grow inside of an individual. Damage that must be healed from, whether you realize it or not, whether you've gotten onto the journey of healing from your trauma or not, whether you realize that's even a thing, it's a damn thing. Okay? I'm telling you that, it's a damn thing. Look into the spiritual communities, look into the psychedelic communities, look into, really, you look deep enough into the religions, like it's all interconnected, it's all the same message trying to get across to people, with layers and layers and layers of bullshit on top of it to prevent you from actually looking deeper and discerning for yourself. Plus the toxins that are inside of you that prevent you from doing that. You got the attention span of a fly. Okay? You can't look at something for more than 5 seconds. You expect everything to be spoon-fed to you from whatever, the news, the TV, the Facebook, the everything. And you only get spoon-fed by those you've been taught to look up to, like the authority figures. They wear a label, they wear a badge, they wear everything. They wear this. Oh, those are the people that know something about life. They know something about reality. They are puppets, paid puppets, and they don't know shit. They don't. If you have yet to acknowledge your own mind and heart consciousness, you're still running from yourself daily. If you have yet to acknowledge the deeper parts of yourself, where everything forms, where your thoughts form and then your thoughts become words or your thoughts become actions, if you haven't realized the whole inner verse that you have going on yet, and how it's been manipulated and controlled by the sorcery that's out there, and you haven't decided to change, you're still running from yourself. You're still running from something that's in there. Whether it's trauma, something you've done from your past, whether it's something that's been done to you. I can't really say what it is for other beings. I know I had to go through my own dark night of the soul, as does everybody who came up in this immoral society, and that's the only way we're going to be able to fix things. It's the only way we're going to be able to get rid of government so that we can all govern ourselves and exercise our full range of rights which have been stripped from us. That's the only way we're going to do it, is we have to realize how the game has been being played. It's ridiculous. And really, like I said, things are not going good. Not going good. It's actually getting much, much worse. And I don't know how long I'll have the ability to put these types of messages out. Or for anyone, for that matter. I don't know how much this little bit of freedom that we do have, I don't know how much we're going to have that much longer. Because seeing the whole thing with my new eyes, the way the chess pieces are being moved on the chessboard now, it's to gain more control. And it's not just, really, it's, you hear about the whole New World Order, the One World Order, the whole thing. It's really, to gain control of the whole entire world, to centralize everything, to have everyone look up to one power. For whatever reason, whatever way they stage it as, whether they say, I've come down from heaven and I'm God, and the angels or God's told me that, I have control over you guys and this is how you guys should live and worship me for whatever reason. It's going to tie into the whole New Age spirituality, love, light, and positivity bullshit. The new cage spirituality is just a new cage for you. The new bars to put yourself behind. Still not seeing the bigger picture of what's going on. The whole love, light, positivity bullshit is that. It's, you don't have to, you're deeper than you've taught. You're a spiritual being, yeah. It's all about love. It's all about light. Don't hit me with none of that dark stuff, man, because I don't ever want to live in a present moment where I'm reconciling or dealing with the darkness inside of myself, okay? Don't come at me with that darkness. I'm all about meditation, love, light, and positivity. It's fucking horseshit. The dark side of yourself is how you learn how this dark-ass environment we've been brought up in is operating. You learn the love, light, and positivity. You just learn love, light, and positivity. This whole dark devil fucking system is still running amok in this shit. And you're scared to look at it. You're scared to look at it for what it is, because you haven't looked at your darkness for what it is. That needs to be done. The dark night of the soul for every individual is what has to be gone through. You gotta reconcile that trauma. You gotta deal with that shit. You got to come out of it a better person. You got to come out of it changed. You got to stand up for what's right, regardless of what happens, even if you die for it. At least you're right with God, okay? Because this place is only temporary. You're going to die someday, right? You're going to live a slave, controlling other people, and ignoring the darkness for your own security so that you don't have to deal with it? No, you have to deal with it at some point. And I would much rather want to deal with it here than to see what comes afterwards. If you know what I'm saying. And you can relate that to all the biblical prophecies, the revelations, the rapture, and everything, the apocalypse. The apocalypse meaning the revealing in Latin. Let me not get too far on the whole Bible thing, because I'm not a Bible thumper or some religionist, really. I just observe the stories for what they are now, and try to see the deeper message that's been put into all of them. And yeah, really, you look at the core of Christianity, and the core of Christianity, without all the layers and twists and bullshit on top of it, is seems to be a good moral message. Where was I going at? Oh yeah, that dark night of the soul, the darkness. Yep, gotta go through it. Got to go through it. So yeah, this video was originally about animals, but I brought it all the way down to a deep-ass level, so. Again, if you haven't seen my documentary, Soul Pressed, Deeper Truth About Vaccines, look it up. It's on my website, e1337.world. E1 through 37 meaning elite. 1 through 37 comes from the hacker term. It's old, elite speak, stuff like that. It's just that whole thing, elite world, e1 through 37.world. Go ahead and check that out if you haven't. I also got a directory on there with a bunch of other vaccine research. I also got some esoteric knowledge on there as well as a few other documentaries that I've watched. And yeah, they got some good knowledge in them as well. Definitely recommend going to check out those esoteric teachings though, like in regardings to the dark night of the soul and just the whole spirituality and the inner verse of you, especially the Kabbalion of Hermes Trismegistus, the Hermetic principles, the Hermetic philosophy, whatever you want to call it. I suggest checking that out. I don't really know what else I'm going to say on this one. This was going to be called Common Misconceptions. I might call this still that. That was really all I had for the comments that I took out of that. And the perceptions, those weren't to attack anyone or anyone. That's why I didn't put a name up on the screen. It was to just point out, like, those are real perspectives that real individuals are having in this place, because they have been taught them, and that's where they're coming from. That's where they're at in life. That's where they're seeing from. Okay, and I really am just trying to help people see past that and see that this is a bigger picture type of thing we're looking at. This is not just me trying to tell someone, oh, you shouldn't do this or do that because I don't love myself and I feel like I can tell people what to do and shit. Like, no, there's a morality is objective. It can't be changed. I didn't set morality. God set morality. And everyone can feel it if they were to go into their heart consciousness and go feel it. And feel the difference between right and wrong behavior. And I can tell you with words, it's as simple as do not cause harm to other life, indirectly or directly. And if you do, it's going to cause pain and trauma that has to be dealt with. Simple as that, really. So yeah, I'll leave this video here. Thanks all for who decided to listen. I know I kind of went off wherever, but I kind of try to stay on the same page. Or try to stay in the same book. Probably not on the same page, but yep. Thanks all for listening. I'll see y'all next time.